Hey everyone, thanks so much for having me today. Here we're here to talk about runes and the digital casino, and as the creator Casey Rodmore likes to call it, artisanal shitcoining. Let's just start with myself. I'm OXDima. I'm the CEO of SatsScreener. It's the Bitcoin real-time token aggregator. Let's pass it around and introduce everyone, starting with Jason.
Hey, Dima, and everyone. I'm Jason. I'm Chief Innovation Officer at OKX.
Rap
Hi, Dima. Good morning. I'm Rafael. I'm a staff software engineer at Hero Systems.
and Akshat.
Hey guys, I'm Akshat Vaidya. I'm head of investments for Arthur Hayes Family Office, Maelstrom.
Great. So runes. Preceding runes. Let's just talk about meme coins in general. What I like to say is meme coin mania. How would you say the recent surge in meme coins across all chains has affected development specifically on Bitcoin and Bitcoin L2s? Yeah, we'll start with Jason again. Sorry.
All right, cool. Yeah, it certainly has been the meme coin season. I don't like the term. What was it? What did Cal say? Something about casino or something?
Yes,
Um,
Cloud Casino.
Cloud casino. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm personally a fan of that term. I think that implies that the game is rigged against you, and there's a house, and they're taking something away every time. But I do think the meme coin season has been at the very least fun, right? And here at OKX, as an exchange, as a platform, and providing access to crypto broadly, that's what we do, right? We want to make sure that users have access, the ability to access whatever meme coin, whatever token really that they feel that is suitable for them, and we hope we can do that for them in a responsible way. That's what we're doing.
Fair. What about you, Raphael?
Yeah, I think meme coins are a very important cultural aspect for Bitcoin. Gaming sort of meets innovation in a lot of ways. So I've loved to see some of these Degens, as we call it, actually build new applications and new ways to use Bitcoin, which is something that personally I hadn't seen before or in a very long time. So I think it's a great incentive alignment as well, because even though everybody knows it's a casino, right? And and that you're playing just to have fun and to experiment and to see what happens. It's also an idea that brings a lot of builders and a lot of people that are actually interested in creating new technologies. So for me, that's the most important part.
Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on runes as utility tokens actually next, but let's push it to Akshat.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's easy for folks outside of the space to laugh off meme coins as why would people spend money on this? But in the same breath, they'll go and buy Nike stock and which sells a $4 shoe for $180. So I think it's fashion. It's why people have jewelry. And as Raphael pointed to, it's you could view it, if you need to take this kind of utility angle to it, you could view it as something that fosters infrastructure, because as more and more people need to trade these things, the existing infrastructure isn't quite scalable enough.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. We've heard the terms, cultural or social consensus or attention economy. I think those all apply to meme coins, and it makes sense that now that we have them on Bitcoin, the attention is focused on digital gold. Okay, let's talk about token standards on Bitcoin in general. As we all know, runes is new, but there wasn't only runes, right? We had BRC20s, we had TAP, we have SRC20s, ARC20s. I just, maybe if each of you could pick your long-term bet or who you think is going to win the race, or just comment on each of the standards. Starting with Jason again.
Yeah, for us, look, we've seen, it's been over a year now where we've been playing with ordinals and BRC20, and I think there was BRC20S, and you've listed a whole bunch of them. We've been working hard to see where our users are and try to meet them there, adding support for as many as we can into our Web3 wallet and into our marketplace. So today we do support runes that went live very recently. SRC20, ARC20, BRC20, we do support those. I think where we are headed, though, is there's still quite a lot of friction in understanding and using each of these, and actually all of this on Bitcoin. I think there's still a lot of iteration to be done. And that's where we are working hard to do, is try to smooth out some of these the learning curve. Really, it's still not easy to get into the space, especially when you're dealing with the Bitcoin block times and fees and things like that. And so there's a lot of work to be done. And before we get there, I mean, before we figure out which protocol wins, we still have all these little pieces to chip away first. So we'll see.
Yeah.
A lot of work to be done.
For sure. I also think, you know, we could see somewhere down the line where there's an interoperability between these token standards. And at the end of the day, you know, everyone just refers to them as tokens on Bitcoin. But, you know, we can't really see the future. Raphael?
Yeah, one of the standards that I've been closest to in the past year is BRC20, because at Hero we are part of the oversight committee that works on the governance of this standard. And I was positively surprised to see that Runes takes some of the good aspects from BRC20, like, for example, free and fair mints, which is something that I think is very important now in this space. And also that these protocols have really focused on simplicity. I think that's also very important because, I mean, as we all know, they rely on off-chain indexing to work. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't really know what's going on in that protocol, so it's up to developers and tool engineers to really move the standard forward and provide the the ability for people to see their holdings and trade the tokens on different websites. So yeah, I think that is in itself is a great innovation, because it really makes things easier to build on top of, I think. So yeah, I'm really very excited to see these things. And I'm not sure which one will be the winner long term. I think there's a use case for all of them, really. It's more also about timing and developer access and things like that. But in general, I'm just excited to see all of this happening on Bitcoin, actually.
Right. Speaking of developer access, I just personally, as a developer, I think that how Runes is baked into Ord makes it very easy to trust the indexing, and that's just like its biggest initial draw. But BRC20 developers have been building for a long time, and the indexer is trusted. Everyone uses it, so that's still a good argument itself.
Just for on
Yeah.
Raphael's point, the BRC20, we went through some pains to get here, right? It's been a year plus to get here, and we've worked as a community to make sure we have those tools and we have consensus, right? And so Runes is new, but it does have a good start. So we'll see.
Yep. Akshat?
Yeah, no, we're kind of standards agnostic here. We've backed only one project in the space called Oil. It's a somewhat like a new wallet / swap protocol that's coming out soon. But I think for me, I'm very curious to hear how there's some rumors going around that BRC20 indexers might be able to compute EVM smart contract code, which would be interesting if they're able to make that kind of upgrade happen. Kind of making them sort of more competitive with Runes, but we'll see. It's too early to say.
For sure. Yeah, that's I know that's in development. Okay, let's switch focus on what I was alluding to before. So meme coins are great, and we all love meme coins. We're talking about that, but specifically with Runes, personally, I felt that Runes is probably the best unlock for utility tokens on Bitcoin. Just to mention them, because they just announced yesterday, something like Ducat, which is a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin launching on Runes, which they just made an announcement. What are you guys' thoughts on utility tokens being directly on the L1, on Bitcoin L1, and if Runes is most suitable to that, or does it not matter which standard you do? And is the big unlock potentially with all these standards not meme coins, but actually utility tokens? Jason again.
Yeah, I mean, one man's utility token is another man's meme coin, right? Like, utility can be defined in so many arbitrary ways. But yeah, it's good to see, back to Raphael's point, I think innovation, experimentation is ultimately what we want, right? And Runes, being a more efficient protocol technically, I think leads it to be a little bit more well-positioned for the longer term, is my thinking, which allows people to try their hand at new use cases. And this expansion of the design space on layer one Bitcoin is just tremendously exciting for us. And here at OKX, we'd love to see these use cases come out and see how we can best support them when they do.
Yeah, I'm super excited, just in general about utility tokens on Runes. Raphael?
Yeah, I think utility tokens are the logical step forward for a protocol such as Runes. It was interesting to me to listen to Casey a few days ago on one of his podcast episodes and warn about that he predicted these utility tokens will be popping up relatively quickly. But I don't think they're a bad thing on itself. I think they just need to go through certain different challenges that we've seen with other token standards or even tokens that live in smart contracts, like in chains such as Ethereum or Stacks or whatever. Because, for example, now you have to worry about the actual price of the UTXO in which your rune is sitting and how that plays into the value of the token that you're actually trading. If it's like a stable coin, for example, or a token that you can exchange for something in a game or whatever. So it creates a different set of problems. But again, I think these problems bring about a lot of innovation as well. And I don't think it will stop with just utility tokens. I mean, we'll see these runes be moved into layer twos, traded in other channels. I mean, it's just, I'm really, really excited to see what's going to be, what we're going to be seeing in the next few months. I mean, it's just, we have no idea what's going on in the future. So I'm excited.
I would argue that it would be a lot easier to onboard masses if they didn't have to learn about UTXOs and splitting UTXOs. Even as a developer, like I find it super cool, and I love the way Bitcoin organizes its data. But you know, just to have someone that's using MetaMask to trade NFTs, circa 2021, I think if you explain to them that they had to split their UTXOs, they'd be pretty confused. Akshat.
Yeah, no, I think I agree that kind of pointing to some scalability limitations there, right? With network congestion, fees are astronomical for like most real utility token use cases. So someone here probably knows more than I do because we're just starting to market map this from Maelstrom's side. What are the top scaling solutions? So we haven't quite figured that out yet. And how it's going to play out, but that's kind of mandatory for any of these to actually have real utility.
For sure. And that brings us directly to our next point. Do high fee environments on L1s make the case for L2s, right? Like the great stories that we've heard about millionaires with Dogecoin, they put $50 in. If you were to put $50 into a rune 2 days ago, you'd be spending 90% of that on fees, and you'd actually only be getting like a very small amount of that rune. So do we need L2s to have true meme coins? I would argue that you don't, because we've seen it play out with BRC20. But at the same time, like the idea of being able to buy $10 of something and kind of sitting on a dream, that is kind of the retail unlock. So do we need low fee environments and L2s for meme coins to really take off on Bitcoin? I'll start with Akshat here.
Well, I think it just inherently makes it a whale game, right? Which is okay. You're targeting a more premium segment, which maybe is not the worst thing in the world. There's already fucking meme coins everywhere, and Solana's killing it with kind of like it's instant and free essentially with kind of their meme coin season. So it's probably okay for now, especially in a bull market. That is for Bitcoin meme coins to be the premium, kind of like the pricey jewelry. Maybe that's okay, but I just don't see how that lasts beyond a bull cycle.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, having these on Bitcoin attaches a certain premium to it. Like Ashka said, block space is expensive. Transferring stuff is expensive on Bitcoin. But Raphael made a great point that these are UTXOs and they can be embedded into layer twos, right? And I think that's what Runes potentially has it going for it. I'm not super technical into the details, but my understanding is you could even do things like Lightning or other L2s using the Runes UTXOs themselves, which makes it very compelling if your specific use case was cheap and low and fast transactions and all that. So maybe there is an option down the road for both the premium and the mass market meme coins. We'll see.
Yeah, to touch on that, we also know that when runes launched, if you create a rune with a turbo flag, you're opting into any upgrades to the rune protocol. And like you said, potentially some of these upgrades might extend themselves well to L2s and making them more usable. Raphael?
Yeah, I think layer twos are a natural next step for tokens on the layer one, especially because, I mean, we all expect and hope that high fee environments are going to be sustained in the future, because we all know about the worry on the security budget of Bitcoin, et cetera, et cetera. And it would be interesting also to see that since all of these tokens live in UTXOs, as we mentioned, who knows? I mean, fees might be so high that those UTXOs in the future could be essentially unspendable, or you would just spend the entire amount in fees when you try to actually use the token. So L2s make a perfect solution for this, but obviously these bridges not yet exist, or they're under development still. So yeah, I think layer twos are going to be a great next innovation area on these protocols. And especially because you'll be able to then trade those tokens using smart contracts. And that will bring about new ideas around DeFi and all these different things. So yeah, I believe we're going in that direction.
Great. Just a few more minutes here. This is kind of the, maybe contentious topic that I've spoken about on Spaces a little bit. And as we know, pups, the BRC20 pups, which eventually became a pre-rune, it got bridged using the multi-bit bridge to Solana, and that caused it to absolutely just increase in trading volume because the friction on Solana is so low. It's very easy to trade. Kind of a fringe argument here, but can we look at something like that and look at a bridge that bridges it to Solana and argue to an extent that using Solana as a Bitcoin L2? And I know maybe that doesn't exactly make sense, but when you think a lot of the ways some of the new L2s that are springing up, they're essentially just bridges with multi-sigs, and why not do the extra leap socially in your brain to realize that maybe any layer that allows you to bridge to Bitcoin is almost a Bitcoin L2. What are your thoughts on Solana as a Bitcoin L2? Start with Jason.
I'm not sure the Solana community would like that, but it is an intriguing thought. I mean, at the end of the day, all these solutions, these potential L2s in quotes, however you want to define them, all these potential solutions that are coming up to market. I mean, the market will decide, right? I think they all have their little tweaks and quirks, and if people value the speed and the lower transaction fee, by all means, I actually don't think it necessarily even needs to be attached to Bitcoin, right? Let's just embrace that. If that's what you're going for, that's the use case. Deploy it, build it on a platform that supports that. If you want Bitcoin security and you want Bitcoin decentralization, all those characteristics that come with it, then you do it on Bitcoin, right? And obviously, even with the Bitcoin L2, there are trade-offs that you're making. So it's up to the project or the coin community to figure out what exactly works for them.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Akshat.
Yeah. Honestly, it's an interesting concept and a thought. I think I can't speak at all to the technical limitations to that, but I think from a cultural standpoint, it's pretty interesting. It also speaks to something more broadly that we're excited about. This whole idea of DeFi on Bitcoin, and all of the infrastructure that's being built to enable that. That's something we're on the hunt for. So anyone building in that space, feel free to reach us out at Maelstrom Fund.
Yeah, for sure. We're just closing up here. So Raphael, closing thoughts, as well as Solana as a Bitcoin L2, or is that an absolute meme take?
I think it's a breach is a use case of Solana. I don't believe it's an L2, especially because the entire chain is not focused on building on top of Bitcoin and Bitcoin finality and these things. But I mean, we'll see how the L2 space develops in the next few months.
For sure. All right, guys, thank you so much. Runes, meme coins. Let's keep going here. Thank you.